I know, it's because Robyn says that she can speak Cody, and I'm like, bull. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna be nice.
Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about the book Becoming Sister Wives, which of course was written by Cody, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn Brown. We are in chapter 8, which was written by Robyn. So this is Robyn's perspective, and it is in part 2 of the book, which focuses on sorority. So this is all about the sisterhood that the wives have. I just want to remind everyone too, when you're listening to this, this is Robyn's perspective, and it was her perspective at the time that the book was published. So that was back in 2012. So this is in the past, you guys. Things have definitely changed. Now let's go ahead and get started. We find out at the beginning of this chapter that when Cody and Robyn got engaged, they didn't have the money for her to move from southern Utah to Lehigh. You know, money was really tight for the Browns then, and it just wasn't an option to pay for that move. Janelle was gracious enough to offer her apartment, and she said that Robyn could come stay with her. But Robyn declined. She felt like she needed more time to connect with Cody independently from the other wives. She also didn't want to interfere with things between Janelle and Cody. So Robyn stayed in southern Utah. Now you're probably thinking, if they don't have any money, they're going to just have a really simple wedding, right? Absolutely not. Cody Brown is dreaming of a big wedding. Robyn says that this wasn't something she wanted. She didn't want the attention. She didn't want the drama. Cody, on the other hand, he did. In the book, Robyn says, Cody swore when he and I married, it would be a big deal. According to Robyn, that is because Cody feels like polygamists don't value wedding ceremonies and receptions the way they should, and it's because they do it so often. Cody wanted to change that when it came to Robyn. In my opinion, it's just too late for that. Since he didn't have that sort of wedding with Janelle or Christine, I don't think that he should have had a big wedding with Robyn. That's just my opinion. I understand that the show paid for it, but according to the book, Cody wanted a big wedding anyway. According to this, Cody was wanting this big wedding before TLC had came through and said they would pay for it. At least that is the way this chapter makes it sound. You guys can leave comments below to let me know what you think about Cody wanting a big wedding. So they get engaged in September, and Robyn says she really wanted to get married quickly. The problem was there always seemed to be an issue with every month they chose. For an example, in December, there's Christmas. They have this whole holiday season with all these kids, and they felt like a wedding in December wasn't a good idea. And then in January, there were anniversaries and birthdays, and it just seemed to be getting pushed back further and further. And while all of this is happening, the show has also been sold to TLC. And the Browns find out that TLC is going to help pay for the wedding if they do it on the show. But there's an issue. TLC wants the show to open with Robyn and Cody's wedding. They want that to be season 1. They want it to be the first thing that the viewers know about the Browns. But the Brown family feels like this is a bad idea for a lot of reasons. They worry that it's going to be hurtful to the other wives. Cody worries that the first thing the audience will think is that he's the type of person that just likes to get married instead of really being a family man. They also want to focus on the family history before they actually focus on Robyn entering the family. So the Browns decide that even though they will show the wedding on TLC, they don't want it to be how the show begins. So they push the wedding back even further, and this creates a very long engagement. So they finally pick a date for the wedding, and they decide to get married in May. Now, during all of this, it was important for Robyn to include the other sister wives as much as possible, not just in the planning, but in the wedding reception and ceremony as much as she could. She knew that not all of the other wives had gotten to have big weddings, and she wanted to be sure that they felt like they were a part of this one. And because it's my video and I can put a clip in where I would like to, I'm going to put a clip in here of Robyn talking about how challenging it is for the other wives to hear about her wedding.
It's sort of like can be a very challenging thing to see me going through, like, oh, I'm going through a wedding, I'm gonna have a reception, yay, I'm getting married.
So I had to put that in there, but basically Robyn knew this was going to be tough on the other wives. Pushing the wedding date back had consequences. It meant that more of the courting and engagement period with Cody and Robyn would end up on the show. And it also meant that this time period was longer for them than it had been with the other wives. If you remember back in the chapters about matrimony with Christine and Janelle, between the courting and the engagement and the marriage, it was all really fast. With Robyn, this was going to be much longer. So at the beginning of this, I said that Robyn couldn't live closer to the Browns because they couldn't afford for her to move. But things finally change. Robyn gets a tax return and Cody gets a commission check that makes it possible for her to move closer to the Brown family. And that's what she does. She gets her own apartment. She does say in the book that she wishes that she could have moved into the house with the other wives, or even just to an apartment that was closer to their house, but it wasn't an option. The house was built for a polygamist husband who had 3 wives, not 4. And it's important to her that people don't think she got preferential treatment. She says it was really the only reasonable option. She just couldn't move into that house. I have always had a little bit of an issue with this, and I've mentioned it in other videos. I don't have a problem with the fact that Cody and Robyn wanted to have a connection of their own and sort of have their own space. The problem is there was a lot of tension in the main household with the 3 wives. I'm sure it was very chaotic with all of those children. I feel like Robyn's house became an escape. And I don't think that was intentional. I just think it happened. I think Robyn should have had to have moved in with them from the beginning, because I think it became the end of the family because Cody could go there to a place where there wasn't tension and there wasn't a bunch of chaos. I don't think there's anyone to really blame for that decision for her to live somewhere else. I mean, she says that there was no room for her in that house. I think there would have been problems had she moved in with Janelle and stayed there a long time. I don't think that was a good living situation, but I sort of feel like if they didn't have a way for Robyn to move into the house, the marriage shouldn't have happened then. That has always been my feelings about it. I think it was unintentional, but I think it did become the end of this family because it gave Cody an escape. Robyn's chapter actually talks a lot about the wedding planning and engagement, and she continues to talk about how important it was to have everyone in the family help with the wedding. And this is where we get to the infamous wedding dress shopping story. Even though most of you probably already know this story, I'm going to summarize it for you again. Basically, Robyn wants to include the sister wives in the wedding planning, so she invites them to come pick out a wedding dress. They go, it's filmed for season 1 of the show. Everyone is having a great time. They think they've helped her pick out a dress, and they leave. But what they don't realize is that Robyn had gotten a call from Cody, and he said that he would help her pick out a dress. He would go with her and do it. So she says, yeah, she takes him up on the offer, but never tells the other sister wives. So he helps pick out the dress. They don't know it, and they sit down to do a confessional for the show, and Cody just blurts it out. He says he has a secret. He picked out the dress.
I got a bomb I'm dropping today. Yeah,
Wow.
You'll love this one.
Let's do it now.
I picked the dress.
Do the group.
That really didn't go over well. So they think they've done it. They think they've had this great experience with her, and then they find out that she has kept this secret with Cody. And I want to read directly from the book, and it's just one sentence, but I want to read this to you because it sort of stands out to me. She says, I had never been a plural wife before, so I was a little nervous about what to wear. That's what Robyn says. That's why she says she needed Cody's help, because she didn't know what to wear. I would love to hear from you guys about why you think she was nervous. Because to me, she was standing in a mainstream, normal wedding dress shop. I understand that she wanted to dress modestly, but outside of that, I don't think there was any restrictions about what to wear. So she was just going to wear a normal, white, traditional wedding dress. So what was the issue? Why was she unsure about what to wear? What made this difficult for her? The only thing I can think is that she is saying this to sort of justify why she went with Cody. And what knowledge does Cody have about a wedding dress that's going to be better than 3 women who are also polygamist? Why would Cody know more? I think Robyn saying she was nervous and didn't know what to wear is really just an excuse. But again, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. So Cody ends up blurting this out during the confessional for the show. And Janelle and Mary say they felt like Robyn had been dishonest. They felt like Robyn had just been pretending that she wanted their help. Christine, on the other hand, is much more hurt. She says, Cody didn't help her pick out a dress. And we know from Christine's chapter in the matrimony part of the book that Christine had really done all of the wedding planning alone.
When is the groom ever involved with the wedding dress? Like you cared what I wore at all on our wedding. I mean, that wasn't even, you didn't even care.
So Christine wasn't happy with her wedding. She wasn't happy with the wedding dress, but I think she accepted it because it was what it was and they were polygamist. But here comes Robyn, who's getting so much more. There's just a lot of emotion about Robyn and her wedding for everyone. But Robyn says she never meant any harm, and she doesn't think Cody did either. He blurted it out, but she doesn't think that he did it on purpose. She says she just wanted to pick out a dress. Now, I have a little bit of a theory here, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think, and I want to know if you agree with me or disagree with me. But the whole time I'm reading about this, and I've watched it on the show, and I've made videos about it, all I can think is why? Why go with Cody Brown? What does Cody know that Christine, Mary, and Janelle wouldn't know about wedding dresses? And she says, Robyn says in the book, she was nervous. She didn't know what to wear as a plural wife. Really, I think that's ridiculous, but let's say it's true. Let's say Robyn is telling how she really felt. Wouldn't you want to go with the other wives? Wouldn't you want to go with other polygamist women who could help you know what to wear? But she goes with Cody. This is what I think. I mentioned this in the last chapter. Polygamous relationships set you up to try to compete with other people. You're always trying to feel special because you're one of many. Robyn wanted something secret. She wanted something that felt special with Cody to make her feel special. And so she thought she was going to do that with him and he would never tell. It would be a secret. I really believe she did not think the other wives would find out. And then he blurts it out because that's how Cody is. And she doesn't know him well enough to know that he's going to blurt that out during a confessional. But I think it happened because there is that desire to feel more special than everyone else. I think Robyn was doing it before they actually even had their wedding. And I'm not going to sit here and blame Robyn for trying to feel that way, wanting to feel special. I think they all did it. I think the person who actually does the best at not being very jealous is Janelle, because I think she needs the least amount of attention from Cody. But I think they all do it at some point. I think this happened because of polygamy and wouldn't have happened in a monogamous relationship. If Robyn was marrying one person, I think she would have went wedding dress shopping with her family and friends, and it would have been all women. But she needed to feel special with Cody. So that is my theory. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. When it comes to the wedding itself, Robyn doesn't say a whole lot in her chapter. And again, it's not really supposed to be about the wedding. She just says that she wanted them all to be a part of it. So they all got dresses in matching colors. They all got those brown dresses, but the styles were different in that she picked out a brown dress for herself so they could do a family portrait. Not really a whole lot more about the wedding, but then she jumps to another infamous part of the show, and that is the honeymoon. When it comes to the honeymoon, Robyn said she never asked for a 10-day trip, but Cody must have just known. And she says it was really important to her that this happened because they needed time alone. And she says it was also important because when she married into the Brown family, she was bringing 3 children with her. There wasn't going to be any alone honeymoon period where it was just her and Cody. They were going to jump right into childcare and homework. She was going to jump right into a big family. I'm going to be honest, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this honeymoon. From one part of it, I understand there's a lot of kids in this family. There's 3 other wives. They needed some alone time. On the other side of this, that's just a part of being a polygamist. And I think 10 days is kind of long, considering Truly had just been born and she was an infant. I sort of wonder if it had been different if it was just a 5-day or a 4-day getaway. You know, that might have been different. 10 days is a long time when there's already that many children and other wives. You know, Christine, She didn't get a very long amount of time with Cody until she had already given birth to McKelty. In her chapter, I talked about how they went on a 2-week-long work trip, and that was the most time she had had alone with Cody. And she had to bring her 2 children with her. So while I understand Robyn's desire to have that 10-day trip, I think the other wives deserve something similar, or it should have been a shorter trip. I also understand it's too late to go back and fix the things that happened, but I think they should have tried harder to avoid hurt feelings in this situation. Ultimately, hurt feelings are what ends up happening. Robyn says that she tried to have Cody call all of the wives while they were on their honeymoon so that they could still feel like they were special, but she says that some of the wives wouldn't take the phone calls. Robyn and Christine have a conversation over the phone about the honeymoon, and Robyn talks about it both in the book and on the show.
Christine on the phone with me, she was in tears, and she just said, "Robyn, just tell me you needed this." And I said, "I did, Christine, I really did. I needed this."
It's a conversation that Christine recalls having with Robyn. I think the biggest issue there with Christine is, number one, there's all those hurt feelings, but we all know that Truly was really, really little. It hadn't been that long ago that Christine had given birth to Truly, and there Cody is leaving with Robyn. There's just so much about polygamy that is messy, and when you start putting it all together with this family, it's like no wonder things didn't work out. There's so much stuff here that would be hard to get over. But Robyn says that she really needed it. Robyn says she needed that alone time with Cody, so Christine sort of tries to overcome her feelings. And again, that's something that's brought up on the show during the earlier seasons. After the wedding and honeymoon, Robyn had expected for things to get easier. She thought she would just find her place in the family, but it didn't go that way. Robyn said when she first began courting Cody, her relationship with Mary was really good, but it slowly began to have struggles. Robyn thought that it would get better after the marriage. Robyn knew that Christine and Janelle were having issues with her entering the family, but she also thought that would get better when she was officially one of the Browns. But when Robyn returns from the honeymoon, she realizes that things are not going to happen as easily as she thought. At this point, Mary and Cody are struggling with their relationship, and Mary blames Robyn for the issues they're having. Christine and Janelle are very standoffish. They're having a hard time making a spot for Robyn within the family. Robyn says she felt like any sort of relationship that she had with Cody was going to hurt the other sister wives. She felt like anything that he did for her, any sort of affection that he showed, would just end up hurting them and making them jealous. As a response, she feels like they shut her out. I feel like this is where it becomes an issue that they waited 16 years to bring in a new wife. If Christine and Cody married and it just was 1 or 2 years and then they introduced a new wife into the family, I think it all would have been different. But everyone was just so settled, and those relationships were well past the honeymoon years. They should have brought a new wife in earlier or have not done it at all. I'm just seeing at this point where their relationships are, it's been a long time. Imagine being married to someone for 15 years and you're sort of past the honeymoon phase, and then you watch your partner marry someone else and they're having their honeymoon experience in front of you. It's going to make you feel jealous. I think that's sort of normal. I hope I explained that right. I hope I said that in a way that made sense. But yeah, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. I feel like this was unavoidable. I feel like because they waited so long and this family was so settled, there was no way to introduce anyone at that point and have it work out well. Robyn says that she realized that they were treating her the way they were because they felt like Cody loved her more. And it's funny because that's sort of what we find out in season 17 and 18. They were sort of right. I think Cody did love Robyn more. Cody says he never was in love with Mary. I don't believe that, but I do think there was a lot more emotion there with Robyn. Cody says he won't take another wife now because he knows he'll never love anyone the way he loves Robyn. He says he was just going through the motions with everyone else. So if that's true, if what Cody is saying is true, and I don't know if I believe it is, but let's say it is. In season 18, Cody says he loves Robyn the most. Robyn is his soulmate. then those 3 wives were right in the very beginning. He did love Robyn more. And that's what Robyn is saying in the chapter. She says, they're saying Cody loves me more and they're jealous and they're hurt. And it's not true. I'm going to help reassure them that he does love them the same. But it sounds like they were actually right. But let's pretend that we don't know what ends up happening in the future, and let's pretend we're really back there in 2012. Robyn says that she tries to have an open dialogue with the other wives and reassure them about their relationship with Cody. She says on page 159, I know having a great relationship with my sister wives has less to do with them and me and more to do with them and Cody. Okay, I said to pretend we didn't know the future, but I just want to say that in seasons 16, 17, and 18, she needed to try to remember that. She should have remembered that the relationship she has with the other sister wives is going to be bad if Cody is not spending time with them, if Cody's not spending time with their kids. I wish she could go back and reread this chapter. But anyway, getting back to the book, Robyn talks about the fact that she is going to always be the new wife in the family. Entering the family 16 years after the last marriage means that she is not a part of the original group. She's not a part of the shared history that they all have, and that this is something that she realizes and that sometimes it hurts. She says because she wasn't around during those earlier years, she often feels like she doesn't have as much of a voice as the other wives. But there is one area that she was able to make a difference.
But Robyn convinced all of us that she could speak Cody and that she would mediate our relationships.
Yep, Robyn says that she helped the family learn how to argue better and she helped mediate. And that is in the way that the family argues. She says things would often get heated and sometimes they would argue but not reach any resolution. And she says that she was able to help them have more calm and safe arguments. She says that she often mediates family talks. You know, this is something that is brought up all throughout the show being on. Robyn likes to help people. She likes to mediate. She likes to translate things for people.
Yeah. She always it's always this Robyn speaks Cody. I'm like, well, I don't know if I really need someone to translate for me. We've been married a long time. We did okay without you.
So while the sister wives may have enjoyed that at the time, we know in the future they feel differently. Another area that Robyn is able to help is when it comes to parenting styles. This was brought up in previous chapters. Robyn says because there are so many kids in the Brown family, it was often difficult for the parents to really mediate all of the situations that would come up. They have a saying in the Brown family, if you are not bleeding, don't tattle. Robyn says she doesn't parent this way. She says that she is far too sensitive to walk away from things and that she likes to mediate things that happen with her children. She says it's important that she creates an environment that is safe and protective for everyone. So when she enters the family, some of the older kids think that she is babying her own children. And Robyn says she felt like she was just looking out for them. But she had to explain that. She had to explain that she had raised her own kids to be more emotionally sensitive. According to Robyn, because of this, she becomes known as the wife that has the emotional intelligence. Robyn says she wants everyone to feel comfortable talking to her and sharing their problems with her. And she says that this is what ends up happening with some of the kids. They begin to confide in her. And according to Robyn, as time goes on, this is something that Mary and Janelle do as well. They feel like they are able to talk to Robyn and that she can help them when they're having issues with Cody. We're finally at the point where Robyn is sort of wrapping up her chapter, and she says that her relationship with Mary got better after they attended counseling. And if you remember back in Mary's chapter on matrimony, not on matrimony, on sorority, I believe. Yes, in Mary's chapter on sorority, she mentions that Robyn went to counseling with her and Cody. So they all 3 went to counseling together because Mary was really blaming Robyn for the problems she was having with Cody. And then eventually Mary and Robyn went to counseling together. In this chapter, Robyn doesn't give a lot of details about that. You know, she keeps it private. She does say that it occurred after the wedding. I had sort of thought that they went to counseling while they were courting for some reason, but according to Robyn, it all happened after the marriage. So she goes to counseling with Mary, and it really improves their relationship. Robyn says that she is continuing to work on things with Janelle and Christine, but she thinks there will come a time where they're able to do all of the girly things they want together, and that they will be able to work as a team to support Cody. At the end of the chapter, she tells the story about how they all supported her one Christmas when she had gotten really sick right before the holiday. She had been so sick that she had not been able to fill stockings for her children. The other wives came through and they had filled them all, so her kids weren't going without. She also says the wives helped her a lot when she was pregnant with Solomon. Mary actually got baby clothes and the changing tables so she could help take care of the baby after it was born. So this is what Robyn was always wanting, and really what the other sister wives wanted. When they talk about it, they wanted friendship. So that is what Robyn feels like they're starting to have. She ends the chapter by saying that she believes that all of the struggles they're going to have in the future is just going to make stronger relationships. She also says that she plans on staying in the honeymoon phase of marriage with Cody forever, and she also plans on making her 3 sister wives her best friends forever. So that is it, you guys. That is the end of what Robyn had to say about sorority and her marriage into the Brown family. You guys can let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. I threw my opinions in there, so you guys can let me know what you thought about those. And if you haven't already, I hope you click like and subscribe and come back to Happily Ever Reality.